Off the coast of Antarctica, deep underwater, researchers have discovered the British ship called Endurance.
Cruise ships are built for luxury and leisure, but not all of them get a grand farewell. Some are left to decay in forgotten harbors, others disappear without a trace, and a few conceal chilling secrets only drones have managed to uncover.
Resting nearly 10,000 feet down in the dark, freezing waters at the bottom of Antarctica's Weddell Sea.
From vessels overrun by nature to mysterious remains frozen in time, these abandoned ships tell stories that defy explanation. In this video, we're diving into 20 haunting shipwrecks, captured like never before through drone footage. What these drones found terrified the whole world, and you won't believe what's still lurking inside. 20. McBarge. In March 2025, an eerie sight drifted down British Columbia's Fraser River. The McBarge, once a futuristic floating McDonald's, had partially capsized.
It may be the end of an era for the iconic McBarge, as the Expo 86 relic has capsized in the Fraser River.
Drone footage showed the vessel listing heavily in the water, its windows half submerged, its clean lines now warped and weather-worn. Originally named Friendship 500, the McBarge was unveiled during Vancouver's Expo 86 as a gleaming symbol of innovation. It served thousands of guests from a state-of-the-art kitchen aboard a two-story glass-paneled ship. But when the expo ended, the vessel was left without a purpose. For years it sat anchored and abandoned, moving between ports and slowly decaying. Various restoration plans came and went, everything from seafood restaurants to research centers, but nothing stuck. By the time it was hauled to Maple Ridge in 2015, it was already being reclaimed by rust, moss, and time. The recent capsizing marked the ship's final descent. Less a shipwreck, more a slow unraveling of a forgotten dream. Once a marvel of fast food and forward thinking, the McBarge now rests beneath the murky waters of memory, a floating time capsule swallowed by the present. 19. Kong Olav. It's not where you'd expect to find a Norwegian ship, stranded deep in the jungles of southern Thailand, far from any coastline. But there, half consumed by vines and rust, sits the Kong Olav, a forgotten vessel from 1964. Once a proud Norwegian ship, the Kong Olav made its final journey from Bergen to Thailand in 1997. After docking in Ranong, it was hauled inland to a dry dock for reasons lost to time, and simply left there. No conversion, no demolition, just silence. Over the years, the forest crept in. Drone footage reveals the bizarre spectacle, a large, rusting ship nestled in dense jungle, far from the sea. The metal hull is blistered and corroded, the decks warped and cracked, its structure slowly sinking into the earth beneath it. Inside, it's a decaying maze, peeling walls, moss-covered steps, and long-forgotten machinery, choked by humidity and vines. No one truly knows why the Kong Olav was abandoned where it stands. But as the jungle reclaims the ship inch by inch, it has become something else entirely. A ghostly monument to a journey that never really ended. Just faded into the trees. 18. Rottenest Ship Graveyard. Beneath the waters off Western Australia, the rottenest ship graveyard has concealed maritime history for over a century. But when the Hydrus underwater drone captured stunning 4K imagery of a massive 64-meter shipwreck, it provided an unprecedented look at a long-forgotten vessel. The wreck, an iron coal hulk likely scuttled in the 1920s or 1930s, was once a fast clipper ship involved in the grain and wool trade before being repurposed to refuel steamships. Unlike past blurry sonar images, the high-resolution footage revealed intricate details of the ship's structure, from its riveted iron hull to the remnants of its cargo holds. Experts were able to reconstruct a digital 3D model of the wreck, offering insights into early 20th century shipbuilding. This find is just one of thousands still hidden beneath the waves, and with cutting-edge technology like Hydrus, researchers hope to uncover even greater maritime mysteries, including the lost SS Kumbana, a luxury liner that vanished without a trace in 1912. 17. Carnival Inspiration. Once a jewel of the seas, the Carnival Inspiration sailed for over 2 decades, hosting vibrant parties, elegant dinners, and dream vacations. But in 2020, amid the global chaos of the COVID-19 pandemic, the cruise industry ground to a halt. Carnival Cruise Line was forced to retire several ships, including this $465 million floating palace. Decommissioned and sent to the scrapyards of Aliyah, Turkey, the ship's final days were documented by drone footage that revealed a surreal sight: sun-bleached decks, silent water slides, and drained swimming pools collecting rust and debris. From above, the Inspiration looked less like a luxury liner and more like a beached ghost. Urban explorers who boarded before dismantling found poker chips still on tables, slot machines frozen mid-spin, and staterooms sealed in silence. Wrapped in plastic, ballroom chairs and bar stools stood untouched, waiting for parties that would never return. Today, the Carnival Inspiration exists only in memory, but thanks to that haunting aerial footage, its last breath lingers, a drifting dream brought to its knees by a global storm. 16. SS Nemesis. For over a century, the fate of the SS Nemesis remained one of Australia's greatest maritime mysteries until drone technology finally uncovered the truth.
A memorial service 120 years in the making has been held for the crew of the doomed ship SS Nemesis.
In 2022, a routine sonar scan for lost shipping containers accidentally detected an unidentified structure deep beneath the waters off Wollongong. Further exploration, using remote-operated vehicles, ROVs, and high-resolution imaging drones, confirmed the wreck was the long-lost Nemesis, a steamship that vanished in 1904 with 32 crew members aboard. Advanced imaging revealed shocking new details about the ship's final moments. The wreck sits eerily upright on the seafloor, with extensive bow and stern damage, suggesting it was overwhelmed by violent waves before sinking too quickly for lifeboats to be deployed. Debris fields captured by underwater cameras confirmed long-standing rumors that bodies and ship fragments had been scattered for miles. The discovery has solved a 120-year-old mystery, bringing long-awaited closure to the families of the lost crew. With only half of New South Wales's 200 shipwrecks discovered, drones continue to expose forgotten tragedies hidden beneath the waves. 15. Titan submersible wreckage. In June 2023, the Titan submersible tragically imploded during a dive to the Titanic wreck site, killing all 5 people on board. The submersible lost contact with its surface vessel, the Polar Prince, and was presumed lost. 4 days later, remote-operated vehicles, ROVs, discovered the wreckage nearly 12,000 feet underwater, confirming a catastrophic loss. The eerie footage captured by underwater drones shows the crumpled remains of the vessel, including its damaged dome and scattered debris. These haunting visuals paint a stark picture of the dangers of deep-sea exploration, where the extreme pressures and unpredictable environment pose a significant risk to even the most advanced technology. The U.S. Coast Guard has since launched a hearing to investigate the causes of the implosion, with testimonies raising concerns about the submersible's design and safety protocols. The wreckage serves as a somber reminder of the high stakes involved in exploring the deep ocean, and the investigation aims to prevent future tragedies. As the footage circulates, it highlights both the allure and the perils of deep-sea expeditions, leaving the public with a chilling reminder of the unforgiving nature of the ocean's depths. 14. The Ghost Ship of Ko Chang. Off the coast of Ko Chang, Thailand, a massive 7-story vessel once promised luxury as a floating hotel, complete with over 200 rooms, restaurants, and rooftop views. But after financial troubles hit, the ship was abandoned, left to decay in silence. Nature took over. Vines crept through shattered windows, rust consumed the decks, and the halls fell eerily quiet. Locals began sharing stories, phantom footsteps, unexplained noises, and shadowy figures flickering just out of view. The ship earned its nickname, the Ghost Ship. Then, in December 2024, fire engulfed the entire structure. The blaze ripped through what remained, reducing the once grand hotel to a skeletal ruin. Now only charred steel and scorched tiles remain, a haunting monument to lost ambition and a floating dream turned nightmare. 13. Antikythera shipwreck. For over a century, the Antikythera shipwreck lay silent off the coast of Greece. But when modern drones revisited the wreck in recent years, they revealed something disturbing. Hidden compartments, sculpted limbs scattered like corpses, and even human remains still nestled in the debris, unmoved for over 2,000 years. This 1st century BCE Roman-era ship was carrying luxury cargo, marble statues, bronze relics, and the Antikythera mechanism, the world's first analog computer. But it's the strange bronze discs, eerie figurines, and the mystery of its sudden sinking that keep haunting researchers. Underwater drones continue to uncover more with each pass, revealing that this isn't just a lost trade vessel, it's a time capsule sealed by catastrophe. And the deeper they search, the stranger the story becomes. 12. SS. Richard Montgomery. Drones have recently captured footage of the SS Richard Montgomery, a World War II American Liberty ship that sank in 1944 while carrying a dangerous cargo of explosives. Located in the Thames estuary, near Sheerness, England, the wreck is a constant reminder of the potential hazards beneath the water's surface. The ship, with over 1,400 tons of bombs still aboard, lies at a depth of around 60 feet, its deteriorating structure posing a constant risk of explosion. Despite attempts to remove the munitions after the ship's sinking, the cargo remains undisturbed, trapped within the rusting hull. Over the decades, concerns about its instability have mounted, with some experts even fearing the presence of mustard gas on board, potentially increasing the threat. The wreck has been left largely untouched, with previous efforts to secure it rejected by the American government. Plans to address the danger, including removing the ship's masts, have been repeatedly delayed. As large vessels pass close by, the ticking time bomb remains a potent threat in the heart of the Thames. 11. Casino cruise ship. Once a beacon of opulence and high-stakes gambling, the Blue Horizon now sits eerily abandoned in a Florida port, its faded grandeur whispering tales of risk, riches, and ruin. Step aboard today, and you'll find poker chips still scattered across the tables, slot machines frozen mid-spin, and velvet chairs gathering dust beneath flickering lights. It's as if time simply stopped. In the mid-1990s, this ship offered so-called cruises to nowhere, short voyages that sailed into international waters just beyond Florida's legal reach, where gambling thrived free from state oversight. Wealthy passengers boarded for a few hours of unfettered betting, drawn in by the glamour and the promise of fortune. But behind the glitz, a darker story unfolded. The ship was part of a gambling empire founded by Greek-Canadian businessman Gus Boulis, whose growing success soon attracted political scrutiny and fierce opposition. That scrutiny turned deadly. In 2001, Boulis was murdered in a gangland-style ambush. His assassination was later tied to organized crime figures involved in a hostile business takeover. After his death, the company spiraled into bankruptcy. The Blue Horizon, once pulsing with life and money, was left to rot. Its hallways now echo with silence, its casino floors covered in dust instead of dollars. Drone footage reveals a chilling sight: empty dining rooms, decaying lounges, and rusting decks. A forgotten floating palace haunted by a legacy of ambition, betrayal, and violence. The ship remains as it was, trapped between luxury and decay, a ghost of a dream that went terribly wrong. 10. Abandoned cruise ship. Drifting silently for over a decade, the abandoned cruise ship was a ghostly relic swallowed by time and sea, until a drone flew over it, capturing footage that would terrify the whole world. At first, the ship seemed like any other forgotten vessel, weathered and rusting. But as the drone moved closer, the footage revealed something horrifying. The once luxurious decks were infested. Millions of flies and bees swarmed the ship, crawling over rusted railings and shattered windows and corroded staircases. It looked less like a cruise ship, and more like a breeding ground for something unnatural. The visual chaos was accompanied by an eerie soundtrack of buzzing, giving the impression that nature had become hostile. The ship had not just been abandoned, it had been claimed. The drone footage quickly went viral, sending shivers across the internet and spawning countless theories. Was it a mutated hive? A failed biolab experiment? Or something even darker? Whatever the truth, what this drone captured remains one of the most unsettling moments in maritime exploration, and a chilling reminder that some ships are abandoned for a reason. 9. Endurance Shackleton's ship. Beneath 10,000 feet of ice-choked Antarctic water, a ghost ship emerged from the shadows, perfectly preserved, hauntingly intact. The Endurance, lost in 1915 during Shackleton's doomed expedition, was found more than a century later by a remote submersible, its name still etched clearly on the stern. Drone footage captured the surreal stillness of a ship untouched by time. Boots still lying in quarters, broken crockery resting where it fell, rigging swaying in pitch-black silence. There were no signs of collapse or decay, just stillness. The ocean didn't destroy it, it kept it, watching it, waiting. The images stunned the world, not just for their beauty, but for the eerie feeling that this wasn't just a wreck, it was a message preserved in ice, a monument to survival that somehow looks back at you. 8. Belitung Shipwreck. In 1998, fishermen diving for sea cucumbers off Belitung Island, Sumatra, stumbled upon something astonishing beneath the waves. A centuries-old shipwreck, nearly intact. What they had found was a 9th-century Arabian dhow, now known as the Belitung Shipwreck, and what lay inside would rewrite history. Using advanced recovery methods and underwater imaging, researchers uncovered over 60,000 artifacts, including Tang Dynasty ceramics, gold bowls, silver ingots, bronze mirrors, and spice jars, evidence of a once thriving maritime Silk Road stretching from China to the Middle East. But what made this discovery truly chilling was how perfectly preserved it all was. The cargo wasn't scattered like in most wrecks. It was meticulously packed, almost like it had been frozen in time just before disaster struck. Some of the ship's jars were sealed when recovered, their contents still undetermined. And among the cargo were unusual figurines and decorative items that didn't quite match any known religious iconography, raising questions about what beliefs or rituals may have traveled with them. Archaeologists believe the vessel sank rapidly, with no signs of fire or combat, just a sudden silent descent to the ocean floor. To this day, theories persist. Was it hit by a freak storm? Did something aboard go terribly wrong? The wreck remains a snapshot of a lost world, and a reminder that sometimes the sea keeps its darkest stories sealed tight for 1,000 years. 7. Roman Shipwreck. In 2019, divers exploring the seabed off Mallorca made a chilling discovery: a Roman cargo ship buried in sand for over 1,700 years, its contents almost untouched. Dozens of amphorae were still sealed, holding olive oil, garum fish sauce, and fruit preserves that had fermented silently in the dark. The ship had gone down gently, without fire, without storm, just vanished. High-resolution drone scans revealed its ghostly outline buried beneath the seafloor, cargo packed as if awaiting delivery. It wasn't wreckage, it was a paused moment in time. What truly unnerved researchers, though, was how well the hold had been preserved. Some jars even bore fingerprints, the last human impressions before the sea took everything. It's as if the ship didn't crash. It was entombed. 6. MV Lyubov Orlova. Few ships have vanished as mysteriously as the MV Lyubov Orlova. Built in 1976 as an ice-strengthened Soviet cruise liner, it once ferried passengers to Antarctica. By 2010, however, it sat abandoned in St. John's Harbor, Newfoundland, its once proud decks reduced to a rusting relic. Legal disputes trapped it in limbo, and when authorities finally ordered its removal in 2013, disaster struck. A tugboat was tasked with towing the ship to the Dominican Republic for scrapping, but just a day into the journey, the tow line snapped and the Lyubov Orlova drifted into the Atlantic. Attempts to recapture it failed, and within weeks, it vanished into open waters. Then, the rumors began. With no crew aboard, it was said to be overrun by cannibal rats, forced into desperation as they fed on each other to survive. Sightings fueled speculation that the ghost ship was floating aimlessly, possibly heading toward Britain. But no confirmed wreckage has ever been found. Whether it lies at the ocean's depths or still roams the sea, the MV Lyubov Orlova remains an eerie maritime enigma. 5. Point Reyes Boat. The Point Reyes boat isn't just an abandoned fishing vessel, it's a beloved landmark that's captured the imagination of photographers and tourists alike. Beached in the wetlands of Tamales Bay, California, this weathered boat has stood for decades as a hauntingly beautiful relic of the past. Originally built in the 1940s, the vessel served in World War II before becoming a salmon fishing boat. In the late 1990s, it was hauled ashore by a landowner who had plans to restore it, but those plans never materialized. Instead, the boat was left to the elements, slowly decaying into its now iconic state. Over time, it became a must-visit location, drawing photographers eager to capture its ghostly silhouette against the misty bay. Though its weathered hull has been battered by storms and even a fire in 2016, visitors still flock to see the skeletal remains. But with safety concerns growing, officials are considering its removal. Whether it fades into history or remains a fixture of the shoreline, the Point Reyes boat has already cemented its place as a local legend. 4. Mysterious tanker. The sudden appearance of a massive overturned hull off the coast of Cape Ray, Newfoundland, has sparked fascination and mystery. Discovered in January 2024 by a local seabird hunter, the wreck seemingly emerged overnight, though experts believe it was likely buried for centuries, only to be unearthed by storms and coastal erosion. Measuring at least 24 meters long, the ship's remains suggest it was a sizable 19th-century sailing vessel. The wooden dowels known as trunnels and copper fasteners used in its construction hint at a European origin. Its presence near Cape Ray, a vital maritime route, raises endless possibilities about its history. Was it a merchant vessel lost in a storm? A forgotten casualty of Newfoundland's treacherous waters? Local historians and shipwreck preservation experts are racing to identify the ship before the elements reclaim it once more. Meanwhile, the wreck has turned Cape Ray into an unexpected hub of maritime investigation, with residents piecing together old records in hopes of unlocking the vessel's long-lost story. 3. SS Tilawa. Dubbed India's Titanic, the SS Tilawa was a British Indian steamship carrying 958 passengers and 60 tons of silver bullion when a Japanese submarine struck on November 23, 1942. 2 torpedoes sent the ship plunging 4,500 meters into the Indian Ocean, killing 280 people in the chaos. Survivors recalled trapped passengers, desperate escapes, and loved ones lost beneath the waves. For decades, the tragedy faded into history. In 2017, British salvage company Argentum Exploration recovered most of the silver hidden in the ship's opium room. But legal battles ensued. The UK Supreme Court ruled that the $43 million treasure belonged to South Africa. Though the wreckage lay forgotten, the stories of survival remained. Survivors like Alvin Jani and Tej Prakash Mangat vividly recalled that night of terror. Now, 82 years later, the Tilawa is finally receiving long-overdue recognition, ensuring its legacy is never lost at sea again. 2. MV Alta. The MV Alta's final journey was something out of a maritime ghost story. For nearly a year and a half, this 250-foot cargo ship drifted across the Atlantic without a soul on board, vanishing from tracking systems before mysteriously reappearing off the coast of Ireland in February 2020. It had been battered by storms, pushed by currents, and somehow avoided major shipping lanes before finally running aground on the rocky shores near Ballycotton in County Cork. The eerie sight of the rusted vessel perched on jagged rocks left locals stunned, as no distress calls had been made and no crew was in sight. Originally built in 1976, the MV Alta had already lived a turbulent life, changing names and flags multiple times. In 2018, it set off from Greece, bound for Haiti, but mechanical failure left its crew stranded in the middle of the Atlantic. After 20 days adrift, they were rescued by the U.S. Coast Guard, but the ship was left behind. What happened next remains a mystery. Some reports suggest it was hijacked, while others believe it was briefly towed before being abandoned again. By the time the Royal Navy spotted it in mid-2019, the Alta was a ghost ship, silently drifting without a trace of human activity. How it survived for so long remains unclear, but it ultimately met its fate in the grip of Storm Dennis, which hurled it onto the Irish coastline. Despite efforts to determine its true ownership, no one stepped forward to claim it, leaving the wreck to slowly decay where it lay. Today, what remains of the MV Alta serves as a haunting reminder of the sea's ability to keep its secrets. 1. Nuestra Señora de Encarnación. Lost beneath the waves for centuries, the Nuestra Señora de Encarnación remained frozen for over 330 years until its remarkable discovery in 2011. This 17th century Spanish galleon, part of the Tierra Firme fleet, met its fate in a violent storm near the Chagres River, its hull settling in just 40 feet of water on the riverbed. Unlike most shipwrecks that disintegrate over time, this vessel was found remarkably intact. Its cargo, sword blades, mule shoes, bolts of cloth, and ceramics, was still packed neatly in wooden crates. Even more incredible, the ship's granule coating, a protective pitch used on the hull, had helped preserve it, keeping much of the structure stable for centuries. The wreck was discovered during a survey led by the Global Marine Exploration Team while searching for remnants of Captain Henry Morgan's fleet. Using underwater magnetometers and remote sensing equipment, researchers were stunned to find a ship not of piracy, but of everyday colonial life, preserved as if frozen in time. But not all abandoned ships remain hidden beneath the sea. Some still float eerily intact, their secrets captured by modern eyes. What horrors might be waiting inside when a drone dares to venture into the unknown? Let us know about your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.